I'm Gwendolyn, 34, an interior designer in Raleigh, North Carolina. After 5 years of scrimping, my husband Edward and I bought our dream home, a 3-bedroom, 2-story haven 20 minutes from downtown. Escaping our tiny apartment felt liberating. I envisioned quiet mornings, a garden, and a future nursery. But Edward's family, parents Harold and Martha, sister Valerie, brother Thomas, his wife Sarah, and their kids Noah and Emma, turned our sanctuary into a drop-in hub with unannounced visits. Where are you reading from? Like if family boundaries have challenged you, and subscribe to see how moving truck standoff reclaimed our space. At my architecture firm, I craft beautiful, budget-conscious spaces, earning a reputation as a practical dreamer. This house was my canvas. Hardwood floors, a cozy backyard, a real kitchen. Edward, 35, a remote software engineer, needed only light and monitor space. His kind, brilliant heart won me over at a friend's housewarming, bonding over sci-fi and pasta. Married 3 years, we saved every penny. No vacations, packed lunches, me cutting his hair. To afford this home, getting the keys, we danced in the empty living room, dreaming of our future. Edward's family is tight-knit, but boundary oblivious. Harold, 62, a retired bank manager, critiques everything authoritatively. Martha, 59, a homemaker, loves through food and organizing, often rearranging my kitchen. Valerie, 26, a marketing coordinator, treats our home as her crash pad. Thomas, 38, and Sarah, 36, with Noah, 5, and Emma, 3, stop by constantly. As an only child with distant parents, I initially loved their warmth. Our housewarming was joyful, Martha's casseroles, Harold's grilling, but Martha eyed my kitchen setup, and Harold probed our mortgage. We'll visit more, Martha said. I smiled, unaware of the storm brewing. 2 weeks later, on a Sunday, I was sketching in pajamas when Harold and Martha arrived unannounced with market bags. Surprise! Martha chirped, unpacking food, moving my Tupperware. Your system needs work. Harold tweaked our thermostat, lecturing on energy. They stayed 6 hours, leaving my kitchen reorganized and a maintenance spreadsheet. I reset everything, thinking it was a one-off. But the next weekend, Thomas, Sarah, and the kids showed up. We were nearby, Sarah said as Noah tracked dirt and Emma spilled juice on our new sofa. Not child-friendly, Sarah laughed. They stayed for pizza, disrupting our peace. The pattern grew. Weekly, someone appeared, Martha with cookware, Harold with beer, Valerie with overnight bags. Her fumigated apartment, excuse stretched weeks, her clothes piling in our guest room. They took house keys, courtesy of Edward, who didn't consult me. Martha used them to rearrange cabinets. Harold hosted football parties with strangers, leaving beer rings on my table. I dreaded the doorbell, my sanctuary fading. Edward saw it as love. It's family, he'd say. They're excited. I argued. Our home's a community center. He shrugged. It's temporary. 3 months in, it felt permanent. I lingered at work, feeling like a guest in my own home. 6 months in, I hit my limit. On a work trip for a client presentation, I finished early and flew home Sunday, craving quiet with Edward. Instead, I found cars lining our driveway. Harold's sedan, Thomas's minivan, strangers' vehicles. Inside, our living room was chaos. Gift wrap, balloons, cake crumbs. A happy 5th birthday Noah banner hung. In the backyard, Edward grilled for 20 people. Family, Noah's friends, unknowns. Martha offered punch. Join us. I was stunned. In my house, without telling me. I pulled Edward aside. You planned a party without asking? He looked guilty. The venue canceled. I didn't want to bother you. It's about respect. I snapped. Upstairs. Coats covered our bed. Makeup stained my towels. My office a nap room with juice-ruined design samples. I packed a bag and checked into a hotel, shaking with betrayal, questioning our marriage. Morning brought clarity. Over coffee, I overheard Harold telling Edward, "We can't afford our house. Your spare room's empty. We'll move in a year or two." Edward hesitated. "Gwen's upset about visits." Harold pressed, "You're the man of the house." The visits, stored items, it was a plan. I confronted Edward. "You knew and didn't tell me?" He admitted they'd hinted for months. I didn't know how to bring it up. "We decide together," I said, hurt by the betrayal. I took a personal day, researching senior living communities. I met Laura, my lawyer friend. "It's about boundaries," she said. "Offer solutions." I met Harold and Martha at a cafe. "I overheard your plan," I said. "Our home isn't the answer, but I found options." I showed them a senior living complex nearby, affordable, modern, with a gym and garden. Harold scoffed. "Family lives together." Martha seemed curious. I held firm. "We'll help financially, but separate homes protect us all." I told Edward, "We're a team." He admitted fearing he'd fail his parents. We agreed to support their transition and set visit boundaries. At a family meeting, Edward said, "We can't offer a home, but we'll help with a new place." Harold stormed out. Martha cried. Valerie called me selfish. Thomas supported us. 3 weeks later, Martha agreed to tour the complex. That morning, a moving truck arrived. Harold and Martha, suitcases ready. "We're moving in," Harold declared. Edward stood firm. "We're touring the apartment." Thomas mediated, convincing them to go. The complex impressed Martha. Harold softened at the investment club. They applied for a unit, sold their house, and moved in a month later. I helped Martha design their space, rebuilding trust. They thrived. Harold in the investment club, Martha in the garden group. We set planned monthly dinners. Valerie got her own apartment. Our home became ours again. The guest room is my office. We're planning a nursery. Edward learned to prioritize us. I learned patience. Boundaries were love, not rejection. Our house is our sanctuary, peaceful at last. Share your boundary struggles below. Like and subscribe. Guard your home with truth.